So I've worked out, I know the answer now to whether or not I have installation in the extension part. You know, I got, it was done by Afghanistan builders. Afghanistan builders who first quoted me £5,000. I knew it was never good, they were never going to be able to do an extension for £5,000, but I was hoping it would double, or maybe just go to £12,000, or maybe £15,000, and you know, I was hoping it wouldn't be more than that. Hence why I went with them. Just I was out of curiosity. I think it was also curiosity about whether or not they would actually do a good job, or whether they would just like rip me off or something. And yeah, they promised me that they were going to make this section warm, so they were going to have installation, and they didn't. So I'll just show you what it is. That's what the framework looked like. And I know that when they were doing this, I was really careful to make sure that they put installation on. But I remember the morning they came, they needed to just put the boards up, and they did. And I know that, I don't know, it just happened too quickly. They did it within about 2 hours. They just boarded it up, and I wasn't convinced that they actually put, so they just boarded it up, and I wasn't convinced that they actually put any installation in the attic at all. I did notice though that they put some really good tiles down. They put some like not foam, not plasticky or cheap ones, but they put like proper tiles down. So I guess because of that, I thought, well, maybe they haven't cut the cost. But yeah, there's no installation up there. There's no installation at all. And the builder said that to put insulation on, you actually need to have some sort of netting. You need to first have some sort of netting over this, and then you place the installation things above it. And he was telling me that actually, because he put a camera up here, so we've put the from that point onwards, we put the boards, but he put a camera up there, and he said that there wouldn't be enough space to walk through. But from this picture, you can see that there will be enough space to just get between the boards. He didn't think there would be enough, but I knew there would be enough, because I was looking at it, because I was actually thinking of putting some boards up there, just leaning. I've got 3 boards that I want to put up there, and I was thinking of having it up there so that I can have maybe boxes or just space, or just something, you know how I feel like my attic is just getting really, really cluttered, and so the idea of having boards up there just to put some stuff up would be a good idea. But yeah, he sealed it up too quickly, and I didn't know if he actually put installation, because I didn't see any. I know I didn't see any, and there is no installation, so that could explain why it was so cold last winter. I mean, this winter, in the summer it's okay, because it's also because it's all sun facing. It's a sun facing garden. Because of that, when it's a sunny day, you know, the tiles heat up, and they actually turn into a mini heater, and therefore you don't necessarily need you don't necessarily need installation there. But in the winter you definitely do, because it's freezing cold, it's dark most of the time, and I noticed last winter it was particularly cold. You know, I remember the winter before, the living room used to always be in the winter the living room would always be fairly warm, and the hallway would be absolutely freezing cold. But I noticed last winter the living room was almost as cold as the hallway, and so therefore I suspected that there wasn't any installation up in that attic, and there wasn't. And I think this is the problem about builders who only want to make money. You know, they're going to start cutting corners, and you can't cut corners when it comes to the installation. That's one of the things you can't cut, but if you can, you'll get away with it. So, you know, it wouldn't cost that much to fix. It would probably cost about £150 to put a hatch up there. I've already got 3 boards I can put down, so once the hatch has gone down, I can get the 3 boards to be put down. And once I've got the 3 boards down, you'd probably be able to slide through there, and maybe put netting on the top end. The netting's supposed to be on the bottom end, but I guess you could put netting on the top end, and just have it like loose, and then place the installation over the top. I mean, I think that's definitely possible. In fact, I could even do that myself. If I can get a hatch with the boards up there, I'm gonna, I don't know, if I'm going to America this winter, in October, I'll wait till Halloween, see if anything happens, and if it doesn't happen, then I'm going to definitely find out how much it would cost to put a hatch up there, because I definitely want installation. If I'm going to be here all winter, I think knowing that there's no installation in that section is going to really bother me. But then again, will it bother me? Because it might just give me more incentive to stay in the bedroom, and this room is easier to heat up because it's not as big. So I don't know. I don't even have that much inspiration to get out of bed these days. So the idea but yeah, I just wanted to say that, and but yes, I'm also thinking of getting the same that they're filling up the walls, so there's gaps. I think they're taking the old filler and putting a new filler in. I didn't know there was an old filler in there, so but yeah, I don't know. I thought they were just putting it in, and there was all this stuff everywhere. But I think they were actually taking something out. They said they were taking it out, and they now need to put it in. So they've replaced the filler, and then I might get it done on the other house as well. But I'm trying to figure out like what's the point of all these grants? Why are they doing this? I don't know why the government is doing this. I think because are they doing this in the houses to the properties in the north? Because do they know that a lot of the properties in the north might actually become empty soon? Like, are they aware? I'm trying to figure out if the government knows anything about me or the collapse that I think is about to happen. I think the collapse needs to happen because a huge portion of the population, the world's population particularly, is just terrible. It really, really is, and everyone's growing in the wrong direction. They're becoming horrible people because of mistreatment and stuff, and therefore I think there needs to be a massive population reduction so that the matrix can filter out the smarter souls with the dumber souls, and will rebirth the smarter souls in human bodies and the dumber souls in I think this would definitely create a lot less mental illness. Having said that, I don't know what's going on with Britney Spears. Because that, I don't know, her mental illness seems so bad that it feels more like an actual physical problem with her brain rather than a soul condition. If a mental illness is caused by a soul condition, it kind of means that their stupidity has always lied in them, but maybe they didn't realise. I think what happened to my sister. I think stupidity has always lied in my sister, but she's never realised it. And when she started to realise that actually there's something wrong with her, that's when she started actually getting more and more worse, because she started becoming more aware of it. I went through a sort of mental breakdown when I realised we were in a computer and stuff, and that was like totally shocking. But yeah, when you become aware of things, you can also develop a mental illness because of being more aware of it. You start questioning yourself more. You start thinking, why did I do this? Why did I do that? And if you've been worshipping Jesus all your life and 100% believing that's the truth, only to realise that's not the truth, and all the things that you've been saying online about God saying this to you, God saying that to you, that was all just lies. When you start realising that actually this was all just lies, you're going to start questioning yourself. Why did I do that? And that's when you might start realizing, shit, I have a mental illness. Now, when you start realizing you're mentally ill, that's when the mental illness is going to get much worse. And I don't know what's happened with Brittany, because she didn't seem mentally ill at all, like 20 years ago or 30 years ago, when she was in the height of her fame. She very talented, very. So what has gone wrong with her? I don't know. I don't fully understand mental illness. But yeah, it's interesting to know that there's definitely no installation there. It's given me an inspiration to actually want to do something. I have money in the bank now, and I want to spend it in some way. And I think if I can just put a hatch up there, and then put some boards down, so that one thing I'd love to do is have a window where it is, and then so I can lie on the boards, and then I can have like. That might be also something that I would want to do. Put some boards down, not to put boxes up there, but so that I could just lie there and have like a giant window that's like the face of. Because then I could just create a bed up there, and then have the window where the sun when the sun shines, even if it's in the winter time, if the sun is shining directly on me, and I don't know. That was one thing that I was thinking of doing, but that probably won't happen. But definitely putting a hatch up there so that I can properly put padding down, installation down. That would be an idea. In fact, it's something I probably could do myself. All I need to do is I can't do the hatch myself because that involves cutting and wooding and but yeah, I've got a ladder. So I probably wouldn't put a laddered hatch up there. I would literally just put a hatch, and then use the ladder that I've got to get up there. But yeah, it would be interesting to see how comfy it would be or how much space there was. He reckoned that there wouldn't be enough space to, when he first put the camera up, he said there wouldn't be enough space to climb through the beams, but I've seen it on that picture, and that picture does definitely look like there is enough space to climb through the beams. It won't be much, but it would be enough to either put boxes up there. But yeah, putting installation up there is it's going to add a cost to the build. Right now it's gone up to like 21,500, so this would probably put it back up to about 20. But yeah, it's annoying I couldn't get it on the installation scheme. But yeah, I think the installation scheme would have done it for free. The problem is, they said that they'll probably have to do that attic as well as the extension attic. They'll probably have to do it at the same time, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.